Hello, everyone. Today I'm excited to talk to you about a major global issue: food waste. This problem has a wide ranging impacts affecting our economy, our environment, and our society. I'll also discuss how composting can help reduce food waste and create a more sustainable future for all classes, not just the higher class or the lower class, but all classes. Everybody can do it. Let's dive in first by understanding just how severe this problem actually is. And I'll talk about in the United States, just about 25% of all of our fresh water is used to grow crops that are never even eaten, never even see the home. That's a lot of food resources, not just water, but energy, land, transport, gas. So it has a large impact on our society, even if we're not directly involved with the chain that surrounds the food world. When food is wasted, it's not just the food that is lost, but all the resources that went into it: growing, harvesting, transporting, and unfortunately, most of the food waste ends up in landfills where it creates lactate. I think I'm saying that wrong, but we want to reduce how much we're putting into landfills. It also produces a harmful greenhouse gas because it's just mixed in with things that it doesn't need to be mixed in with. Like food scraps definitely can be salvaged, and they have more purpose than just being food scraps. Now let's take a look at the economic impact. Globally, food waste costs around 1,000 billion per year. That's a huge economic burden affecting both consumers and producers. When food gets wasted, it raises costs throughout the entire food supply chain, from farms to grocery stores to even to our homes. Finally, let's talk about the social aspect. Despite overproduction in many parts of the world, nearly 1 billion people are food insecure. This creates a painful contrast between regions where food is wasted and areas where people don't have enough food to eat. Studies show that higher income areas tend to waste more food, while people in lower income areas are often the ones suffering from food insecurity. This inequality makes food waste not just a logistical issue, but a socio-economic one as well. And you see this because I've lived all over the world, thankfully. But in the Philippines, they don't have as much food waste as other countries because they use the totality that they have in front of them. So they don't let the chicken feet go to waste. They don't let the duck eggs go to waste, even if they've been fermented. Like, that's a big cause, and that they help out a lot, but it's not enough to have a global impact on our scale. So what's the solution here? One of the most effective ways to combat food waste is through composting. Composting turns food scraps into nutrient-rich soil, which can be used to grow more food, reducing the amount of waste in landfills. As we've seen with the What Did I Do? It's 150,000 tons of food that reaches the landfills per day in the USA, which is way more than it needs to be. People could use that to their advantage. And I'll show you a little bit. I brought a visual to show you some of the key benefits of composting. As you can see, composting not only reduces landfill waste, but also enriches soil, suppresses plant diseases, and promotes water retention. And this is just a glass, but this is natural soil in Florida where I live. This is my yard. So this is what is naturally here, and as we can tell, it doesn't have very much nutrients because it's sand. It's literally sand. Like, that's a lot of Florida is sand. But this is another glass I'm going to show you. This is food waste that has been accumulating for about 3 months. We can see the difference is just immaculate. Like, this is crazy. So why shouldn't everybody be doing this? I don't go out of my way to do this. All the food scraps that come from the kitchen just go into a pile, and about every 6 days I turn it. And this actually holds water, has a lot of nutrients. Plants love it. The roots just continuously grow through it because it supplies so much. And that's why composting is great. By fostering beneficial bacteria and fungi, composting creates a more sustainable cycle of food production and waste production. However, it is important to note that composting needs to be done properly, avoiding contamination from non-compostable materials. So don't put anything in there that's plastic, that can't compost. We're looking at food scraps mostly, food waste. So, your peppers, your banana peels, your coffee grounds, anything that is a consumable or perishable probably can end up in your compost bin. And then it's benefiting all of us, not just you per se, but the landfill, because it doesn't have as much food waste going towards it, and the plants that you're supplying the compost with, because they're enriching themselves with nutrients, supplying you more nutrient dense meals. I think that's important because we're losing a lot of that in today's world. If you're interested in composting, there are many ways to get started. Those with outdoor space can compost at home by setting up a pallet and some cattle netting, or cattle fence, that's what I would call it, no climb fence. And just basically yard clippings, leaves, coffee ground, all your food material, and just keep piling it up and turning it, and that's one way to compost. If you live in an apartment, you can use an indoor compost bin. While the initial setup might cost or might seem high, the long-term benefits like reducing waste and improving the soil around you are well worth it. To sum up, food waste has major environmental, economic, and social consequences, but through actions like composting, we can make a big difference if we work together to reduce food waste. We can create a more sustainable future if properly implemented, 37% of the landfill waste would disappear, because that's how much food waste enters landfills each year. And that's an astronomical number. I think we can, get a head start and knock it down. Thank you for your time, and I hope this presentation inspires you to consider composting as a part of your efforts to reduce food waste, whether in high income areas or low income areas. Although high income areas really need it because they have more food waste than lower income areas.